freshly plowed fields. Scenes like this are nothing new across the Commonwealth, as farmers will turn crops several times each year. But on one particular day, in a location and on a date that have never been disclosed, something remarkable happened in a Kentucky field just like this one. Now, as farmers often do, this particular man was out walking his field that he had just plowed when something caught his eye. Now, what he saw looked out of the ordinary, so he took his hands and he started to dig around. Here now is actual video of what happened next. As he dug, gold and silver coins began to spill out. He dug more, and more coins kept appearing. In total, the farmer had stumbled upon what's now being called the Great Kentucky Hoard, a literal treasure trove of more than 800 coins, including 1863 double eagles, silver coins, and hundreds of U.S. gold dollars dating back from 1850 to 1862. One included an imprint from a burlap bag, giving a clue as to how they were buried. The face value of the coins around $1,200. In today's dollars, that's around $24,000. They sold for more than $3 million. Jeff Garrett runs Mid-America Rare Coin Galleries in Lexington. He literally wrote the book on Civil War-era gold coins, sits on the board of directors of the Smithsonian Museum of American History, and has appeared on the popular TV show Pawn Stars about a half a dozen times. As a result, he gets about 25 emails a day from people who think they may have valuable coins. Now, 99% of those don't pan out. But one day, Jeff got an email with a grainy photo of an 1863 gold double eagle coin, a very rare find. The sender, who is the farmer, wanted to meet to talk just about this one coin.
And he has a little briefcase, and then he pulls out, I can't remember how it started, but fairly quickly he showed me 5 coins. And I'm like, and the condition of the coins were astounding. They were really like mint condition. So I was blown away, and I was like, tell me more. What's the deal here? Then it was like the big reveal. Okay, I found 800 gold coins in a cornfield, and there are 18 of these 1863 20s. So at that point, I'm like, virtually, shaking with excitement. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
So the next step was to figure out exactly what was in the hoard. The coins needed to be cleaned and preserved. That meant getting them to experts in Florida, which would entail getting on an airplane while carrying millions of dollars in rare coins. Did the farmer travel with you?
Yes.
What do you talk about when you're sitting on an airplane with $3 million in coins with you?
We don't talk about anything. It was, he had a different seat. It was very low key. Everything has to be, everything for security, you're very low key when you do things like this.
How in the world can something that's been sitting in the ground for 150 years be in mint condition like that?
Gold, it's one of its beautiful aspects is that gold is not, it's impervious to corrosion. And a gold coin can be buried for 2,000 years. And you can bring it up and it'll look like the day it was made. So gold is, that's one of its unique properties. It doesn't corrode. So why would someone bury the cash equivalent of the yearly salary of 9 soldiers in the Civil War? Amy Murrell Taylor is a historian at the University of Kentucky. She says the banks of today bear no resemblance to what banks looked like in the 1800s.
The Civil War scrambles things, and for people who were living during the Civil War, they had actually already lived through 2 financial panics in the United States. In 1837 and 1857, many banks failed. So they had already gone through this tumultuous period, and now here comes the Civil War.
Add this mistrust of banks to what was going on in Kentucky at this point of the war, and Murrell Taylor says you can understand how such a treasure ended up in the ground.
Banks are being robbed. They're very vulnerable to enemy forces. So in Kentucky, in particular, we've got Confederate raiders who are ripping through the state, 1864, 1863, and banks, for that reason too, don't seem that reliable or safe. So, and then you're afraid that maybe some of these enemy raiders are going to come onto your property. So you've got to make sure it's somewhere that can't be seen. It can't be in an obvious place inside the house. So, yeah, put it in the ground.
And some feel there's still a lot of that treasure in the ground. This is Bill Curd, Brian Cerniglia, and Larry Simmons. three friends who call themselves the Dirt Nerds. Now, you'll find them most weekends out searching for buried treasure and sharing their adventures on social media. They've turned up some interesting items: cannonballs, belt buckles, and breastplates from the Civil War, for example. They say it satisfies their inner Indiana Jones, and they have a knack for knowing where to look for potential treasure.
Whenever I go to an old house like this, I'm like, so where was the master bedroom, you know, when this was owned, and like try to picture, you know, where they would have been looking out so they could still see their cash. You know, it wasn't in the house, it was buried under a fence post or, you know, somewhere they knew, but they could still, if they heard a noise in the middle of the night, they could get up quickly and look out the window, make sure nobody was there.
A metal detector dealer in Shepherdsville, Kentucky, told me his phone rang off the hook for days after the story of the Great Kentucky Hoard became known. Now, it's important to note there is no established link between the hoard and the use of a metal detector. But the technology definitely allows hunters like the Dirt Nerds to find interesting and potentially valuable items underground. Can you tell what that is?
That is a pair of silver cufflinks. Hey!
Silver cufflinks?
Uh-huh.
Now they're loose here. It's almost like they're on a...
Yeah, cufflinks back then had two little chains.
That's it.
Right in the middle.
Wow. So that's where we thought this story would end. For reasons I'm sure all of us can understand, most notably, he didn't want several hundred people with metal detectors and shovels tearing through his fields every weekend. The identity of the farmer has never been disclosed. But we reached out to see if we could get his perspective. And after months of a delicate back and forth, we have heard from him. And we'll bring you his insights in just a few minutes. Hey everybody, I'm Chip Polston, your host for Kentucky Life. Now, if you like that story, and let's say maybe you want to explore more of Kentucky, here's how you do it. Just click that subscribe button for more great content.